This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk you through this 2021 Zinger model 340 RE. So let's move towards the back here. So this has power stabilizers. You have one switch to operate both rear, and there's a switch up front to operate both fronts. Now, it's good to know that if these ever fail or get damaged or anything like that, there's a crank up in the front compartment, which I'll show you in a little bit. But you can come to the other side here, and you can put it right on that shaft there, the shaft with the pin through it. And you can actually crank them manually. So that's a good feature. That way you can always get home or whatever. Now, the slide rooms have the same feature. I mean, it has a stud or a shaft with a pin through it. So you can't see it through this hole, but if you go all the way to the frame, you'll see a shaft sticking out with a pin through it, like I said. And you can put that same tool, the same crank on that, and crank it. Now that would crank the door side slide out. So if it fails, if you have problems with it, you can always crank it manually. Now, if you were to use this one over here, that will operate the off door side slide out. And then also, if you come up here, there's another one that'll you'll do your off door front slide out with. So you can always get yourself out of trouble. It takes about 1,000 cranks, but you know, sometimes all all you're concerned about is getting it in. So, okay. So you have two power awnings with LED strips. Outside speakers. You have a signal out and a power for a TV set out here if you wanted to set it on out here. Your stairs, you can adjust the length of the legs by pulling this pin. There's one on each leg. Hopefully you can see that all right. And slide it up and down to the proper length. Of course, there's the switch for the front stabilizers. Now, your power tongue jack has a hitch light, obviously, and it extends and retracts. But if this fails, you can unscrew this cap, and there's another crank, a smaller one, that you can put on there and crank it manually. So let me show you those right now. Get to the back here. Hopefully you can see them. Let me turn the light on. There we go. So the brass covered one, or the longer one, that crank is for the slide rooms and the power stabilizers. And then the smaller one, the silver one in the corner, that's the one you would put on your tongue jack, your power tongue jack. Okay, so now you have two LP tanks. They're both full right now, and it has an automatic changeover regulator. You have a deep cycle marine battery here, and this is the kill switch for the battery. So if you wanted to shut it off when you put it in storage, you can do that. Just make sure you always leave it on at other times, because you want the battery to charge. So you have that feature. This is obviously part of your hitch here. This is a Husky centerline weight distribution hitch with built-in sway control. We'll show you how this operates when you come to pick it up, but there you have it right there. Okay. Now, these are your dump valves here. You have two gray tanks. So there's one gray tank valve. There's the other one there. And then, of course, that's the black tank valve. Black tank is toilet water and waste. The gray tanks are sink and shower water. So keep in mind, when you're dumping this over here, always dump the black first, and then you can use the gray to sort of wash it out, wash the hose out. It's dirty water, just not as dirty as the black water is, so you can do that. Then you can leave the valve open, in the open position, the black valve, come up here and hook your hose up, your dump station onto here, and turn it on. This is a black tank flush. It'll flush out your tank, clean off the sensors, that sort of thing. Really do a good job of cleaning it out, so it's always advised that you do that. If there's a working hose at the dump station, you should always do it. That's just an outside shower for kids and dogs and feet and anything you want to hose down. This is the outside of your water heater. This one works on both gas and electric. The switches are inside. I just want to show you that this is where it drains right here. You need an 1 1/16" 6-point socket to unscrew that, and you probably need a short extension too, so you can you got room to swing whatever ratchet or bar or whatever you're using on it. So that's where you drain it. The switches are inside, and I'll show you that when we get to it. This is the range hood vent. Now, there's a baffle right here, and then you can't really see very well, but there are latches here, one here, one here. So if you're going to be venting to the outside with the fan, you have to free up that baffle. You have to move those latches so the baffle flaps freely and vents to the outside. All other times when you're in storage or traveling, you keep it shut. So there's two ways to get water to your trailer. The most common, obviously, is the city water connection. Just hook it up and you're all set. If you don't have city water on the campsite, you can pre-fill this fresh water tank right here and use the onboard pump to pump the water. Also, this white gate valve down here is the dump for your fresh water tank, so you can empty it out with that. That's just signals, cable and satellite through. You have it's pre-wired for a backup camera, so keep in mind you can always get a backup camera installed. Also, while we're looking up, you have to inspect the roof every 90 days, so you want to make sure you go up there or have somebody else go up there, check the seals and the sealant to make sure it's not cracking or separating. Check the vent covers and the roofing material to make sure it didn't get hit by a low branch or road debris flip up there or something like that. Just always inspect it and make sure it's in good shape. If it's not, get it taken care of immediately. Okay, this device here is your power converter. It converts AC to DC power. Right, so you got AC circuit breakers here, 120 AC, and they're all labeled. Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC on the right side there. You can see that. And those are 12 volt fuses, and they're all labeled. They actually light up if they were to blow, so you'll see them through this tinted plastic. And also, when you're plugged in, this will keep your battery charged. It's a battery tender. It'll always sense how much energy your battery needs and send it whatever it needs. If it's full or charged, I should say, it'll just trickle a couple amps up there. If it's low, it'll send 10 or whatever it needs. Okay. This is your thermostat. Try to always use the fan on auto. You know, you have heat, off, fan, and cool. Fan is just the air conditioner running without the compressor. Okay. This is your control panel here. You have your 3 slide rooms. Okay. You just keep your finger on the button, and when it gets all the way extended or all the way retracted, it'll make a ratcheting sound. So then you take your finger off of it. Your awnings are right here. Never leave the awnings out unattended. If you're not going to be at the campsite, make sure you roll them in. You got lights here. Your water pump I told you about for pumping water out of the fresh water tank, and you also use that for winterizing. Your water heater lighted on gas, or you can start it on electric. Never use it without water in the water heater tank. Battery is charged. Fresh water is empty. Black is empty. Gray 1 and gray 2 are both empty. So as they fill up, it'll graduate up in 1/3 increments, of course. And once you get past 2/3, you got to start thinking about dumping the black and the gray tanks. Okay, so this device down here is your carbon monoxide and LP gas detector. It should always be green like it is. This will detect obviously LP gas leak, carbon monoxide buildup, and if it beeps really slowly, it's telling you that your battery's low. So I'll put it through the self-test here so you can hear it. That's LP, carbon monoxide coming up, and low battery alert. And then back to green. Okay, it should always be green. Obviously, if it goes off, you're gonna take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the gas off at the front, and figure out what's going on. Okay. This is obviously is a beverage cooler for popping in beer and juice or whatever you've got. This refrigerator is a 12-volt compressor refrigerator. It's very self-explanatory, on and off. You set the temperature here, and then there's a power saving mode and a regular mode. This runs on 12-volt DC. Okay, your microwave works like any other microwave. This is the range hood I told you about. If you're running the fan, remember you want the baffle open outside. Alright, your range, this is the sparker. You turn it clockwise to spark it. These are three are burner knobs, and this is the oven knob here, and then there's also light. So basically you're just going to turn on to high, spark it, and there you have it, it lights. Very simple. The oven is a little different. There's a pilot light all the way at the back. I mean, I could spark it so maybe you can see it, sometimes you can. But what you do is you just put it to the pilot light symbol, then you depress it. You keep it depressed during the whole lighting procedure. You spark it by turning this clockwise, and after it lights down here, you still hold this for another 10 seconds or so to heat it up. Then you go to operating temperature, of course, but when you shut it off, the flame goes out, obviously, but so does the pilot light, so you got to relight the pilot light each time you use it. Okay, so 3 remotes, and you have your fireplace down here, you have your sound bar here, and obviously your TV. So this is the fireplace remote right here. So with this you can set that H flash, if you can see it, is the speed of the fan. You also can change the appearance of the flame a bit. You have a thermostat. It goes up and down in 5-degree increments. Okay, and also you have a timer, so you could set the timer to turn on. I gotta shut that off. It's hot. You can set the timer to turn it on, you know, like 20 minutes before you get out of bed in the morning, for example, and it'll take the chill out. And the good thing about that is you have limited LP, right? So this runs on AC power, so you don't use any LP with it, so you can heat things up a bit without using up your limited supply of gas. So keep that in mind. Now this is your sound bar here. So it has an FM radio built in. You can stream off this USB here. It has Bluetooth, so you can stream wirelessly with your phone or tablet. 2 speaker zones, A and B. A is inside the trailer, B is outside the trailer. So there's a lot you can do with it. And then of course your TV, which is like any other TV. And it is on a swing out bracket too, so you can move it. You can adjust the angle of it. Alright, so your couch is a jackknife. A jackknife's flat and turns into a bed. Of course, then you have your theater seats. Now keep in mind there's storage underneath the jackknife too. There's hinges at the top, so you can open that up, and you got quite a bit of storage room. You could put, you know, soft stuff there like blankets and pillows, whatever. So you get a stool. Obviously your dining table. Make sure you always strap the chairs when you're traveling so they don't bounce and break a window or dent something. That's a packet with all of everything in here has some kind of a literature with it, so it's all in there. Okay. Let me look and see if I forgot anything in this room. Let me look it over quick. I think I've got, that's obviously your fire extinguisher. Okay. So the bathroom, sink and shower work like any other sink and shower. This is a GFCI plug here. All the plugs in the trailer are wired through a GFCI, so keep that in mind. This is your flush pedal for your toilet. It's a ceramic toilet, which is good. Now, you can't use it dry. By dry, I'm talking about the black tank that's directly below, right down there. Okay? So, you know, you pull into the campground, you park, you hook up your water and your power, then you'll come inside with you have your toilet chemical. You'll drop 1 dose in the bowl. Then you'll stand on the pedal. Water will come swirling out, of course, and you'll put about 1 gallon or so into the tank below. There's no way to tell exactly what that is. It doesn't have to be exact. The thing is, you always have to have water and chemical in it when you start using it. If you use it dry, the smell will be it'll be serious. Let's put it that way. And it can also get clogged up too. So make sure you always start off by putting water and chemical in it. Every time you flush the black tank and then you're going to use it again, you would put some water and chemical in there. Always run the fan with the shower to pull the humidity out. That's important. Okay. You have a wardrobe over there with mirrors. This is plumbed for a washer-dryer combo. You got power and plumbing here. Keep that in mind. You get a stackable set. Your mattress flips up and there's storage underneath like a foot locker. We also have TV hookups here. This is telling us there's a backer plate here so you can put a bracket there. With this one, because you're going to watch it from bed, you just have to make sure it tilts forward and back good enough so you can get a good view of it. You don't really have to swing it either way. So, okay. Okay. I think that covers everything. I know what I wanted to say. This is a 50 amp system, and what this is telling us here is this is pre-wired for a second air conditioner if you ever want to add it. The vent comes out, it fits right in the vent hole, and this one, I don't see any sensors on the wall, so this one you would use one with a ceiling assembly, which is the inner piece. Use it with the one with the controls on it, so it would be independent of your main air conditioner. But keep that in mind, it's pre-wired for a second AC. Okay. Alright, so I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit, and please remember what I told you about inspecting the seals on the trailer, inspecting the roof. That's the most important thing you could do as a trailer owner. And of course the other one is make sure you winterize it when it gets cold out. But those two things. Make sure you take care of that, okay? Thank you very much.